All right, guys, welcome back to the Lake Norman Business Podcast. My name is Danny Decker. I'm here with Richie Peplin, and our guest today is Ryan Weber, Marketing Director for Thomas Godley Grimes. So glad to have you here, Ryan. Before we dive in, I want to give a quick shout out to our sponsors. So we're sponsored today by the XL Marketplace Breakfast, which is presented by New Song Church. So XL is a quarterly marketplace breakfast and a gathering for entrepreneurs, business leaders, and those looking to grow in leadership. You can learn more about Excel, including the date of the next breakfast, by visiting newsongchurch.org. We're also sponsored today by Chapter One Films. So Chapter One Films provides high-quality video marketing services for business owners in the Charlotte and Lake Norman area. Their goal is to help businesses grow and tell their story more effectively using video. Visit chapter1films.biz to request your free consultation. So Ryan, thanks for being here, man.
I appreciate it.
You and I work out together.
Yep.
I can lift about a third as much as you can, so I'm kind of like playing catch up there, but glad to have you here. And tell us a little bit about what you got going on. You kind of do a lot of different things.
Yeah, so my job title is Marketing Director for Thomas Godley Grimes. While I am the marketing director, I've kind of broadened into more of a kind of an operations manager, and then when I have spare time, I do marketing. With that, you get a lot of skills that other businesses need. So, any non-competing businesses, if I've got extra time on the weekends, I might go over and help them as much as I can. So I just kind of bounce around and try and make people more money.
Well, and you built a gym, sold it. Tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, so I owned my gym for about 5 years. It was a CrossFit gym, but I realized CrossFit wasn't the only thing that I needed, so it ended up being a boot camp and personal training and nutrition. So we had 4 kind of pillars that we stood on like a chair,
Yeah.
And so it ended up being all of those pillars were somewhere around 25% of the revenue. So, it had a CrossFit title, but I kind of made it all equal parts. So now if one went down, you've always got the other ones to kind of keep the business going, and built it up and built it up enough to be able to sell it. And so in January of this year, I sold it. The owners that purchased it are still doing great over there, so I'm happy to see everything still going well. And I always had an exit plan, and it just turned out to be quicker than I had planned, because I had built it to where I wasn't having to be in the business, and the business kind of ran itself.
Well, that's awesome, man. I feel like that's kind of every entrepreneur's dream, to be honest. So congratulations on making that happen. That's cool. So, and now tell us a little bit about the law firm.
Yeah, so we're in Mooresville, and the biggest part of the law firm is real estate. We do about 1,200 real estate transactions a year, which is very, very busy. Also do family law and domestic situations. We recently added Charles Grimes as a partner, and so Charles does really weird civil litigation stuff. So like if you don't think you're going to win, you call Charles and then you win. Yeah, awesome. It's really weird, but the man's a genius. And those are kind of the 3 main things. We've got personal injury that we're trying to pick up as well. We've always done a little bit on the side, and now it's something that we're really trying to push to grow. So lots of different practice areas that I get to try and market.
Very cool, man. And when did you join the firm?
I started helping out towards Thanksgiving of last year.
Okay, cool.
Just on the side, like they had no website. They had nothing. We were in Mooresville, and our name is known, and that's all they had. So I started building out their website for them. I started giving them some sort of video and online presence. I started their social media accounts, and technically in January, once I sold my gym, I came on as a contracted employee for 6 months. After the 6 months was up, they kind of looked at me and was like, well, you're not going anywhere. So now I'm full-time over there.
Very cool, man.
Yeah.
So I feel like it's kind of a perfect conversation to have, because a lot of our audience are not real experienced in terms of marketing, maybe don't have a lot going on, so maybe they can empathize a little bit with that situation that you just described, where you just don't really have anything besides some name recognition. So tell us about how you started. Like what do you do with a business that just has no marketing yet?
Well, my first thought was, what would I do if I needed an attorney? Luckily, my wife's an attorney, so I would say, hey, what do I do? But if I didn't know any attorneys, I would go onto Google and I would search for them, and then I would find the website that looks like it speaks to me the best, or it looks like it was well done. If it's not well done, then that tells me that you don't take pride in your business, in my opinion, you know. And so then I wouldn't look at that website. I'd go find the top 3 websites, and then I would try and find videos on those people so I could relate to them, and then I would just see which one I felt like would relate to me the best. And I said, well, if I were looking up you guys, you don't have a website, and you guys are crushing it right now. Imagine if we got to the level where you had some sort of internet presence and people could start finding you other than word of mouth. And so that's where I started of where I think the world is going with all the internet presence.
Which makes sense, because you can be crushing it, but if other people don't know you're crushing it, they want to, especially with that kind of profession.
Right.
Like that's the lawyer you want, is the one who's out there crushing it. Because if he can do it for you, he can do it for me.
Exactly.
Which I think makes sense.
And that was my philosophy. You know, a younger guy, that's what I came in, you know, working with 50, 60-year-old attorneys, their mind is, oh, well, there's no way someone's going to hire me off the internet.
Well, yeah, because what am I going to post on, on social media?
Right.
Like, we're lawyers. What are we going to post? Who follows lawyers on social media?
Right.
Well,
right.
People looking for lawyers, where they're going to research them.
Right. Yep. So that was my philosophy as well.
So what kind of stuff do you post?
Let's see. So the main stuff we've been doing is we've been trying to build up an educational library. Nobody knows anything about the law, and you don't need to, but if you have a very specific topic that you want to talk about or learn about, you want to do your research and know that the attorney knows what they're talking about. And so if you could get the bare minimum information out of that and say, wow, this guy knows about pier permits on Lake Norman, because that's what I'm interested in. I'm getting ready to buy this house, and this guy is talking about it. I probably should hire him or at least consult with him. And so we started with this huge educational library. I've produced 120 videos so far in 2018.
Nice.
So we're trying to build up that nice collection. So now when people ask us questions, we can actually send them part 1, part 2, and part 3, and they can get whatever information they were looking for.
All right, so let's stop there for a second, because that right there, is just such a big deal, and I wish more business owners did that. And law, obviously, but really almost every type of business can really benefit from that. So how do you attack something like that? Because the question I always get is, well, what should I talk about? What topics are people trying to so how do you start?
So I have two ways that I do it. The first way is I call it the organic way. You're a business owner, you have clients, or even if you don't have clients and you are trying to get yourself started, go up to somebody and say, this is what I do. What questions do you have? And you'll have the most frequently asked questions that these people are asking over and over and over again on specific subjects. And so I said, hey guys, you've been doing this for 30 years. What questions do you always get about divorce? Well, they always ask me, can I keep the house? How much time am I going to get with the kids? And I'm just writing it down. And I said, well, there's our first 6 videos. Let's get started. So that's the first way, is what are people asking you? If you get a question, there's more people that have that question. So let's make a video about it. So when it's searched for on Google, your stuff's popping up. The second way is actually going on Google and seeing what people are typing in. So there might be some topics that we're not getting asked that are asked throughout the country, and it might just not have been traveled over here yet. So I'll go in and Google long tail results, or I'll look up keyword planners to see what's actually typed in and say, well, it looks like truck accidents are searched for quite a bit. So we should probably do some videos on truck accidents, because I don't see any attorneys posting about truck accidents, and they're actually searched for quite a bit. So yeah, it's the what are people asking you versus what's actually typed in on Google. I kind of do both.
Do you have somewhat of a framework for the different videos? Is there do you like to do one specific topic, any certain length?
I usually keep them 60 to 90 seconds. Every now and then we'll get into the 3 minutes if I know it's a really sought after topic. So I said pier permits on Lake Norman because it is something that is asked almost all the time in our office. So we just did a 3-minute video on that one. And we went to Duke Energy and said, what is everything our realtors need to know about pier permits? And so we got all of the information directly from the source of how to submit your pier permit, your application, to make sure everything goes through smoothly. So that was a little longer video, but we did our due diligence to find the actual information.
Yeah, it makes sense. I mean, someone's going to spend that extra time when it's as important as getting that pier they really want.
Right.
Or,
if you're buying a house on Lake Norman that's over $1 million, you're going to watch a video for 3 minutes to make sure you can have your pier.
Yeah, you'll have 3 minutes of my attention.
Yeah. No, that's great. I mean, it shouldn't be like such a revolutionary like idea, but I love that you're like, rather than being like, this is what I want to tell people, you're like, no, let's go find out like what people want to know and let's give them that information.
Right.
Like, that's awesome.
And then, you know, that's where we started with the education. And then I said, well, I did some research, and attorneys actually have a lower approval rating than Congress. It's like 8 or 10%, somewhere in there. And I said, well, people just think that you guys are robots. We need to do some lifestyle videos. And so one of my attorneys, 58-year-old, went on a bachelor party with 36 guys to Las Vegas. And all these guys were like 30 years old. I said, we need to do a video about it. Just tell your story of you going to Vegas. And it was one of the most liked videos that we had.
Get out of here. That's amazing.
It makes them relatable.
Is that on the website somewhere?
Yeah.
Where do I go to find it? 'Cause I want to see that.
Just go to the Thomas Godley and Grimes YouTube page, and I have all of our videos up on YouTube, and you can scroll through and see them all.
That is so good, man.
Mm-hmm. Yep. It's a lot of fun, too.
That is hilarious. That's hilarious. So what do you do with these videos then?
So I actually have an entire process, like you were asking, do I have kind of a process? And so I do. It's we'll create the video first. I'll get it all edited and looking nice and pretty. First thing I do is upload it on YouTube, and then I optimize the entire YouTube text of the about and basically write a blog post about it. And that way in YouTube it'll get searched and ranked high, and you know, put all the proper tags. And so I optimize it on YouTube first. And then from there, I'll take that and I'll put it into an email newsletter, and I'll rephrase it. I'll basically write a summary of the blog post that I put in YouTube, and I'll send the video and the summary out to our email list for a relevant email list. From there, I'll copy the blog post, put it on our website on the blog, and also post the video. And then I'll post the video on Facebook with usually just a one-liner for people to watch. And then I'll go on to Instagram and I'll post usually just a photo on our story and say, new video, check it out here, kind of thing. So it's usually a 2 to 3 hour process of creating one video. But the organic search terms that we're getting out of it, plus the shares and the top of mind awareness, is paying off.
Yeah. Yeah. How about, have you guys done much with Google AdWords?
I have, and with us being in Mooresville's a little older school, so they're not much on the internet.
Gotcha.
They're not as well versed. You know, I'm looking up search topics, and in Mooresville they're just completely different than Charlotte.
Gotcha.
And so we've started messing around with that, and to not give too much away, it's doing very, very well for one particular practice area.
Got it. Well, I won't make you give too much away. So tell us what else you got going on there besides, so video. Are you doing other pieces of content? Like what else you guys doing online?
Mostly, I started with the internet presence because we had none. So I redid our website and then just started crushing this video library. And now we're starting to write a lot more blog posts, and we're really trying to get ranked high on Google because we're doing well with word of mouth, but we're trying to really we had no website. So I'm trying to catch up from the past 10 years of all these websites that were collecting all this information. Probably one of the most unique things that we're doing is when I came in and we had this huge real estate industry that we're working with. And so I said, well, if we want to get more real estate agents to close with us, they need to sell more houses. So if they learn to sell more houses by learning marketing strategies, then they're probably going to need somewhere to close. And so why would they not want to close with a place that just taught them how to do this marketing strategy that they just use to sell a house?
Yeah.
So what I do is every Monday I put out a video, and I call it my Marketing Monday. And I put out a video teaching real estate agents a different marketing strategy with a very actionable thing for them to do. So every Monday they get a video from me, from our email list. I think we've got about 1,000 realtors that have subscribed in there that are learning different marketing tips and tricks, and I just kind of teach them, and I'll go around and do seminars for anybody that asks, and I can show you how to do it, I just can't do it for you.
That's awesome, man.
Yep.
I like that. That's very clever.
Yep.
Yeah, help them bring you more business.
That's kind of, and we're not asking for it. You know, I'm not like, well, you have to close with us. It's just, look, if I teach you how to do something and you're starting to crush it, and then you don't have anywhere to do a closing, why would you not come back and see us?
Yeah.
Absolutely. I mean, if you've helped them there, that's kind of, you've added that value.
Right.
Why can't you help them the rest of the way?
And my whole marketing philosophy, I kind of call it the help first model. I don't know if you guys have ever read the Chris Cooper book. And in the fitness industry, he's a pretty big business consultant, and I kind of followed him and was going through his mentorship process, and he wrote a book called Help First, and the whole premise of his marketing philosophy is you help someone first before you ever ask for the sale, because then you don't ever have to ask for the sale. They're going to say, I need to give you money because you've helped me so much.
That makes sense. I like that.
That's great, man.
So you've talked about the marketing aspect where, you're doing the videos, you're helping the realtors sell more. What happens then? So, I need an attorney, and I'm getting, information. I've watched your videos. Where does the funnel lead to? Like, what else do you guys?
Yeah, I mean, once they kind of get to there, I almost put it back on them and say, if you need us, just give us a call.
Okay.
Shoot me an email. I try and make it as the worst thing is when you own a business or when you're trying to give somebody money, you make it hard for them to give you money.
Right.
So I try and make it as simple as possible.
So I just give you guys a call and
give us a call.
I'm gonna meet with somebody, schedule a consultation.
Exactly. I've set up an online closing process, so now they can schedule their whole closing online, so they don't even have to call in. They could just go right in, schedule it, and just start it. We've started automated email and text messages, so now it's like they'll get all their updates of where they're at in their home closing process. So I'm trying to make it as simple as possible and make everything just, it's so streamlined now that you don't have to beg for information. It's making it easy, really.
Yeah, because it makes sense. I mean, the reason I'm watching the video is because I didn't want to make a phone call.
Right.
So, at the end of the video, don't make me make a phone call.
Right.
Let me fill out the form, schedule
Right.
everything, and give me those, push notifications pretty
Right,
much, right?
right.
That's what a text is when you say, hey, here's where it is.
Exactly. And I the last type of video that we do is the sales video, and that's where we actually ask for a sale. I kind of do one a month, and so to that entire group that's watched all these videos, then we would do an actual sales video of, here's what your problems were, and this is the solutions we've had. You've watched us give you these information pieces that you were asking for, and now your next step is to do this. And so we tell them exactly what to do, so they don't have to guess.
I like it.
Love it. So Ryan, for all of the business owners out there who don't have much going on in the marketing world yet, and also don't have the ability to bring in like a rock star marketing director like yourself, and they have, a million things they have to do every day just to keep the business running, so they've got very limited marketing time, where should they start? Like, what would you tell people, where do they need to start in order to like really move the dial in the limited time that they have available?
I'd say probably the easiest thing to do, and I have to get other people that I help out to do this because they're in that situation. They don't have the money, and I'm like, I need information if you want me to write a blog post for you.
Right.
And so I tell them, wake up in the morning, take 5 minutes, open your phone, and just voice record your thoughts. Talk about a topic and just voice record it, and then from there you can write blog posts. You can put that, if you're willing to do video, you can put that video out there. But basically you've got to prove that you have the knowledge. You've got to show that you know what you're talking about, and by producing this content and putting your thoughts out there, more people are going to be aware of you and then eventually want to come and work with you.
Love it, man. Love it. Well, this was really helpful.
Yeah, I appreciate it.
So where can people learn more?
So for us, it's tgglawyers.com. I don't know how much longer. We may be adding another partner and changing names once again. So for now, it's tgglawyers.com, or you can give us a call, 704-663-1600.
Awesome. And realtors specifically, how can they get on the that distribution list?
Yeah, so if they want to start getting our marketing tips, it's realestate.tgglawyers.com, and we've actually got a marketing tip in there for them to watch to make sure that it's actually something going to be beneficial to them. Then they can go in and sign up for that email list.
Awesome. Perfect. Well, thanks a lot, man.
Yeah, appreciate it, guys.